the setup for Yoga Nidra practice. So here's some things that I would recommend that you have. However, the ultimate goal is for you to be as comfortable as possible. So whatever that takes is really up to you. But here's some of my recommendations. A yoga mat is not necessary, but I would have something on the floor between you and a hard surface. Even an extra blanket would feel really good. It isn't recommended that you lay in bed to do Yoga Nidra, even though that may seem rather inviting. Our brain sort of associates being in bed with sleep, and Yoga Nidra isn't really sleep in the traditional sense of how we think of sleep. So I would encourage you to stay on the floor for the practice. And again, use a blanket, use a yoga mat, something under you that will provide a little bit of softness between you and the floor. So that's one item. The second item is a bolster or a large pillow or even a rolled up blanket. You don't need to go purchase a bolster, but if you have one, it works really great. That will be towards the end or by underneath your knees. I have a small, really squishy flat pillow, and the reason I put this under my head is because when I lay flat on my back, I tend to just go in just a teeny bit of hyperextension of my neck, meaning my chin ends up higher than my forehead. So we really want our spine to be in alignment as much as possible, or as much as feels comfortable for us. So I like a little something under my head, hence the pillow. The next thing is either a towel, a washcloth, even an eye pillow. You want something over your eyes to make the room dark, right? So you can see I'm in a well-lit room. I use an eye pillow because my eye pillows aren't very heavy. They're pretty soft. And you really want something rather light on your eyes. You don't want it to be a distraction. So I use my light eye pillow. And then the last two things I would recommend, and this may depend on the temperature of your room or the time of the day or even the season that you're in when you're doing your practice. But I like to cover up even with a sheet or something light in the summertime when it gets warm in the house. But at this time of the year for me, I like 2 blankets. So I'm going to show you how I use them. So I will take my legs over the top of the bolster, and blanket number 1, I will take over my legs and I'll kind of coddle my feet in the blanket. Now I want my knees to be wider than my hips, and I want my legs to just kind of fall open comfortably. So if that doesn't show up well in my body, then I would readjust that. Remember, this is all about you being as comfortable as you can be. So adjust as needed. Okay? Scoot my hips forward. I'm going to lay down. I'm going to scoot down a little bit so I show it all in camera. My second blanket, I'll open up and I will cover up the rest of my body. So as I cover up the rest of my body, I will take my arms underneath the blanket, but then I kind of puff it up so that the blanket doesn't touch my fingertips. So ultimately, we don't want something touching the fingertips. Now, you can, of course, sleep or lie, with your arms outside of the blanket, and that works just fine too. Again, I bring my pillow underneath my head. I assess that I'm not elevated, so I don't want to have my neck in hyperextension either way, right? I don't want to be too far here, and I don't want my chin to be higher than my forehead. I lay down, and finally, after I'm completely comfortable, I take the eye pillow, the towel, the washcloth, and I place it over my eyes, and I'm ready for the practice. And then all you have to do is just wait and listen. Okay, so that's how you set up for your Yoga Nidra practice. Enjoy.